Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Itayo. Such a lovely morning today. It is the 23rd of December 2021. It is a lovely Thursday morning. Great weather, great enthusiasm in the air. And of course, we know it's Christmas season. Everyone is getting set for Christmas. And I'd like to say a Merry Christmas to you, our loyal tribe members out there, and of course, compliments of the season. We're going to be having a great time today on the Good Morning Education Show. You must admit this is about the best education show that you have on the planet. And of course, I'd like to tell you that we're streaming from Lagos, Nigeria, to West Africa, to Africa, and of course, the entire world. And we always ask our loyal tribe members tell us their name and location where they're streaming from. Talk to us this morning. Share your location with us. Tell us how you've been enjoying the Good Morning Edition. Something. Let's hear from you this morning. We would be willing to hear from you. And also, do not hesitate. I repeat, do not hesitate to contribute and make your contributions during the show. We have opportunity to show your comments. We also give opportunity for question and answer. If you have questions, we will answer your question, especially based on the subject matter of the day and discussed topic. I would like you to know that on the Good Morning Education Show, we also take into consideration headlines, news within and around the world of education. We'll take up features sometimes, we'll take up sponsored stories. And of course, you can always take advantage of this platform to advertise to the world, to the education community, and we will be willing to engage you and support you. On the Good Morning Education Show, we are always live Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. West African time. You can catch us on that, and of course on Saturday, Sunday we have the weekend special. So Saturday you can catch us by um, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and you can get us um, Sunday you can get us 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And yes, this is the Good Morning Education Show. We are delighted you're here and excited you're with us today. So please do not hesitate to join us. We're looking forward to you joining us this morning on the Good Morning Education Show. Tell someone to tell someone that the Good Morning is right here. And we're going to be having a great time. Obviously, we're going to be having a great time on the show today. I would like to also say that um, as we get to the end of the year, if you have topics of interest you'd like us to talk about, to focus on, please do not hesitate to let us know. Tell us your comments, how we can improve the show, how we can make it better, and we will be glad to do so. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining the Good Morning Education Show. And as we begin, like I said, we will be starting with the headlines. And the headlines this morning, we have interesting conversations, and we're going to be able to treat that conversation. And before we start the headlines, do not go anywhere. We will be right back. He hasn't sent this. I sent something to him. All right, welcome, 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 welcome. So we're going to start with the story from Dowen College. The five Dowen College students arrested over Sylvester Oromoni's death, and they get 1 million naira bail each. That's an interesting development on the story, and it's an interesting development on the story. We have we have this coming from a platform called legit.ng. It's been said that the students that are suspected, over this issue have been in custody, and now that they've been arrested, you have them talking about having these children going on bail. Well, I think that something that I don't know, just gives me mixed feelings. But then we know that justice must be served, and we hope that everything will be as transparent as possible. Welcome, Olushola Olumide, to the show. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Rotimi. Good morning to our tribe members out there. It's good to be here once again. Thank you.
Okay. So we're just taking up headlines right now. And
Okay.
we talked about the 5 students that that's the 5 Dowen College students arrested over Sylvester's death. They get 1 million naira bill.
Uh, well, I hope they will look into the whole issue. I think granting bail, maybe that is not bad. However, the matter investigation should still be ongoing. I think bail does not necessarily suggest acquittal. So I think bailing them uh, is, I don't think that is bad. But then I think whenever they need to be interrogated or whatever, assessed, they will be available. It would be the case that now they have been granted bail only for them to abscond. That is not going to be okay. So I think it's good granting them bail.
Okay. So we have another um, headline, and this particular headline this time around is talking about a group of people partnering. They call it Group Partner School Connect, and then they digitalize 50 classrooms.
That is good. Is the classroom across the state or across the nation or across a local government? Because I don't want to believe it is just one school that was digitalized. And I think kudos to that group. We need to really appreciate and celebrate them for what they are doing. I think that should be emulated by all who have the wherewithal in order to make learning easy. Thing they have done for me, I think they are our heroes as far as the education space is concerned. Another thing that readily comes to mind is the issue of maintenance. If these guys have donated this, they've done this, I think it's incumbent on the schools to be able to maintain the. We don't want to go back in 2, 3 years and that thing has become a carcass of its old self. That will not be good. And it's not going to encourage people that really want to help. Because why give the help when the people you are trying to help appear not to be serious about the help, or they couldn't sustain what you've done? So I think sustainability is key and it's necessary. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And we have another headline this time around coming from Ondo State. Akeredolu task education administrators on research.
Mm-hmm. Is good. As laudable and as good as some of these submissions are, they are long overdue. Nobody needs to be told you should embark on research. Education space is a knowledge space. And if you are not going to be working behind schedule, there is need to always be involved in research. The institution supposed to be a step or two ahead of the society. That is how to bat solutions. Yes, the institutions are meant to be giving the society the way to go, bringing solutions to problems. I think that's what they are. I hope everybody will see it as a need, not only administrators, teachers, lecturers. If we intend to do anything meaningful and worthwhile within the education space, research is key. Or else we'll just be groping in the dark and doing trial by error. And it's not going to do anybody any good. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Let's move over quickly to another one. Varsity Union Hills reviewed labor bills.
Well, I've not been privileged to lay hand on the review labor bill, so I don't know the content, but for the varsity union to heal it, that means it is in the right direction. About, was it last week? ASU is threatening to go on strike. Yes, and it's good to review it positively. However, implementation should follow almost immediately. I know at times due to resources, and it's not easy for institution. The wage bill of every institution keep increasing. Yes, the wage bill keep increasing, and incidentally, if you look at how much those students are paying due to economic situation, the school fee is really not sustainable because government is not actually going to give the institution all. You are asked to show up your IGR, and they give you subvention which you are expected to augment to meet your own needs. So I feel government should deploy more resources, and the budget, it should be seen in order to back this up. The budget for the new year should be up. At least let it even reach to a double digit. It will be a substantial leap if you are able to reach, even if it's ordinary 10. Yes, it's below UNESCO prescription, but however, it will be a step in the right direction. If you are able to move to double digits, then more money will be available for the schools. Of course, either for capital project or for recurrent expenditure. I think it's a step in the right direction. And for the varsity union to even applaud it, I can tell you something juicy is coming out, and I hope it comes early. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, we've had this conversation before. It's been headlines for some time, and now it's back again. In search of dress code for Nigerian undergraduates. What is
Uh,
it?
dress code. Well, there are different layers when it comes to the issue of dress code. I know we have students in Lagos University that practices this. The dress code is talking about, if you see those in sciences, they put on purple top. Then I think those in social sciences put on something like blue. And of course, from time immemorial, those in law, they wear white on black. So that is a form of dress code. The other side to the aspect of dress code has to be what is appropriate or what is inappropriate. Uh, in a way, it has to be moderated or go between, where we are not trying to infringe on the fundamental human right of students. The student also should not throw caution into the wind. Sincerely speaking, Rotimi, you get to some of our higher institutions and you see the way students are dressed, and you keep wondering, sorry, are you really in this place to come and learn? It could sound so provocative, both the female and the male. And somebody is wearing a tattered jeans. Fine, you may say you have the right, but don't forget that you are not only having right, you also have responsibility. Where your right ends, another person's begins. So you don't have to infringe on people. If you think you have liberty, that liberty had to be within appropriate confines. Of course, we may begin to find out what is appropriate confines. But I feel it should not be obnoxious dressing. Then the other side to this dressing, which I have seen um, Lagos State University address many times, which I'm very, very happy about, is that as a student, you can't be coming to campus with bedroom slippers. You can get a little sandal, small and wear. And at times you see some of those students coming into the school with slippers. It doesn't even speak well. I think those in the faculty of law, they are well regulated in a way. It has been, in fact, thank God for those who enacted that kind of thing. Except you're having elective, you can dress anyhow to your elective courses. But once you're having major courses in the faculty of law, you don't just dress anyhow. In fact, you look awkward. You won't even enter the class. The lecturer doesn't need to send you out. You even find it shameful to enter because you see your other mate the way they are well dressed. So I think these are the sizes and shapes to the issue of a dress code. We don't want to infringe on their fundamental human right. Fine. They also shouldn't throw caution into the wind. Apart from obnoxious dressing, don't just come casually as if you are going to Alaba market or you are going to UOE or My 12 market, or you are looking like somebody who is coming from where they are selling ram or cow. No, that doesn't speak well of the ivory tower. Dressed appropriately, and I think that will be okay. Thank you.
Very much. We move on to the second or the last headline, and this is talking about Lagos to establish comprehensive schools under PPP.
I'm trying to look at the toga. That's kind of a school we wear. Do we call it public school or do we call it private school? Who is going to be the people running the school? Or is it part of the school existing only that it will be upgraded under PPP, or they want to build new schools, recruit new teachers and what have you? And PPP, what are the private sector, what are they expected to bring on board? Are they supposed to supply certain facilities? And is the government supposed to recoup the money back for the private sector, or it will serve as a corporate social responsibility for the private sector? But these are, uh, when we get the full gist, we'll be able to know the nomenclature, how it will be like. But for me, if such a thing will happen, there should be thorough training of the teachers that will be deployed there. We, even though we're under PPP, we cannot afford to carry the attitude, the ineptitude to uh, to such a place. So let's wait and see as things unfold, and let's see the kind of a tribal mark, the PPP, the comprehensive school we wear. Hmm? Thank you.
All right. That's a very good analysis. And also, sometimes we must be able to identify when something is at a vision stage and when it's at an execution stage. I think that it's just casting a vision at the moment. And it's important for us to also demand better messaging. Yes, I know that there are news reporting on some of these things, but better messaging will really help us understand the dynamics and how this will fly. Well, until then, congratulations to Lagos State. And thank you to the math educator saying that it's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education show. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. I got to know about the great show recently, and I don't mind skipping my breakfast for the show. Oh, thank you so much for your kind words. Please do share the information about the show to others as well. On that note, we will be going to the conversation of today. Our topic for today is stop the peanuts. Stop the peanuts. Before I do my introduction, let me ask Olusola Olumide if he's there, and let me ask him, what does this topic connote to you? When you saw this, what were the things that came to your mind?
Rotimi, when I saw stop the peanut, the first thing that came to my mind has to do with teacher salaries and welfare. That is the first thing that came to my mind. And you know what? There is this maxim. I think maybe it was that maxim that made me think that way. Well, not only teacher salaries, also on the other hand, school fee, especially in the public institutions. When some people are paying 25,000 naira as school fee, and you are telling them it's not sustainable, they begin to shout and say, what do you mean? How can you increase school fee to 150,000? Then I tell them, if your children in our institution cannot pay 100,000 as school fee per year, your wards in nursery and primary school, how much are they paying? Peanuts, like the maxim I wanted to tell you, when you pay peanuts, you attract only monkeys. But peanut is for monkeys. If you are looking for value, you got to pay. So, two sides, teacher salary and welfare. If you keep paying peanuts, you'll be attracting monkeys as your member of staff. And for those of us who say we are going to a particular institution or school, if you are paying peanuts, we keep attracting monkeys in terms of lecturers and service delivery. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Poacham joined us. So I'd like to also ask her, what was the thing that came to your mind? Seeing the topic "Stop the Peanuts." What came to your mind? Please unmute yourself.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to. Good morning, all. Good morning.
Mm.
I was trying to listen to what Mr. Olushola was trying to say. Okay, seeing the topic, I believe it has to do with salary or the amount that you give to people when they have done a service or a job for you. Um, I I'm guessing that that's what they say. Stop the peanuts. At times, we want a job well delivered. We want I remember we talked about a tag team, and at times when you bring these people together, whether it's your employees or people you're working with, you want to deliver value to your clients. At times people pay trickles, and at the end of the day the value is rubbish, it's nonsense, it's nothing. And we keep paying peanuts because we think that, oh, okay, I just want to have all the profits, and it doesn't work like that. There's a part in the Bible, I can't remember, that says, always pay your workers, do not hold the wages back. And that has always stuck with me. Pay people their worth. Before you know it, these are the same people that will spread about your work. They will spread. I hope I'm on track though, because I came in late. So I was trying to really like catch up on it. So when you say stop the peanuts, a lot of time people don't pay people their value. People don't pay, especially we all know that no man is an island on his own. To achieve that, when you want to give value to your clients or you want to give, you really have to pay people. And when you pay people trickle, you pay people peanuts, truth be told, you actually get rubbish. Your company or what will not deliver what you want. They are going to complain, there'll be a laid back attitude, they are not going to do anything, it's just going to be anyhow. You complain, some even staff their staff off salary not for how many months, they don't give them anything. So I think yes, we really need to stop it and pay them their worth. Yeah, it may not be so much, but at least pay them that they'll be appreciated for their time and the effort they put into whatever sector they've been placed in, because time is value whether we like it or not. And yet they are coming together to achieve that dream or that purpose that you want to go far in life. I hope
Thank
better.
you.
Thank you. I
Thank
came
you.
in late,
Thank you.
so
Thank you.
alright. Awesome.
So I like the idea behind it. And just like you said, and Olushola said, a lot of people are familiar with peanuts from the concept of wages and salaries. However, there's a little twist. We are still on the same path. But when I say stop the peanut, basically it's a topic that has to do with standards. You know, I think that we must see peanuts as outcomes of something. And when we look at peanuts as outcomes of something, then it means that we need to also realize that the possible reason that people experience peanuts, either from wages or from reality, from culture, from state of being, is because of certain things that has gone ahead of them. You understand? It's just normal that if one was to ask anyone, how much do you think some of these um, entertainers, the musicians, how much do you think they would charge for their business and for their performance? I'm sure people will always think in millions. Why? Especially in Naira. Because there's already a bar that has been raised. And that's what I would like us to talk about. Peanuts must be seen from the angle of an outcome. Therefore, let's focus on it. How do we stop the peanuts from the actual inputs, from the representations, from the imagery, from the identity? How can we stop peanuts for teachers, stop peanuts in the education sector, stop peanuts for businesses? I'd like Olushola to start from there.
Thank you, Rotimi. It's a lovely twist. Of course, there's no how we'll talk about the wages, remuneration, welfare without we looking at the other side. Because consumption is a function of perception. When you do your bit the way you need to do it, and people perceive you to be somebody who delivers value, it also enhances your bargaining power over time. It enhances your value going forward. You made mention of the entertainment industry. It has to be so because they appear to have paid their dues, and the people see them as somebody who can compete favorably across the globe. And that warrants how much they pay for 30 minutes, 1 hour show. You know how much they go home with. And until those in education space gets to that point where they deliver value that cannot be contradicted. And of course, your perception, like I said, informs your consumption. However, for perception to tilt in your favor, you must raise the bar.
Hello, are you there?
Hello.
Okay, I think network. Okay, so let's take a cue from what he said. That there's a correlation between
Hello.
perception. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, so I wanted us to dwell on one of the things that Umisala mentioned, right?
Mr. Rotten, I can't hear you clearly. It keeps breaking. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. How about me?
Okay, I couldn't hear you clearly at all.
Well, the network itself is acting like peanuts.
Yes,
So
it is. Yes, it is. Because I was not here. Yeah, I can hear you now. It's better.
okay, so you heard what we say that consumption is a function of perception. Let's look at perception. How can people further shape perception about what they represent, the value that they bring, so that that can help them to stop the realities of peanuts as either wages reward.
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So you were saying that about perception. How can we, if you could come again, please? It keeps going off and on. Sorry.
I said, how do we ensure that we can, or how do we help people? How can people help themselves in changing perception on how they present what they do so that the result will not be peanuts?
Okay. Perception. That's a very good one. I would say how would people help themselves? They have to personal development is one of the core values. You have to work on yourself. Um, you just have to work on yourself and you have to stand out different. A lot of people don't want to stand out different from what they do. They want to follow the trend, whichever industry they are in. They just go, okay, this is how it is. But you have to do something. You have to look for a solution that will be able to that you have to look for a problem, sorry, that can give a solution. Now, not necessarily everything as I'm not talking as an entrepreneur that is the solution. There are ways you can go about it to give it a different perspective. And as I keep saying, perspective comes from different angles. You have to just work on yourself. You have to research. You have to go deeper. You have to define it for yourself and say, okay, this is it. I want to stop collecting peanuts. What can I do about it? Yes, this has also happened to me. At some point, I had to ask myself, what can I do to stop receiving peanuts? And um, coaching with Martian of Business Talent really did help me, and it did help me see from different perspectives. How can I go about it with flowers? What can I do? Personal development. How do I do? And one way that was able to help me is enlightening people about flowers, giving them different reasons why you can give flowers. So at the same time, I will say you have to work on yourself. You have to ask very deep-seated questions. What's the value, the kind of value you want to give out? And when people start seeing that value, trust me, you will stop collecting the peanuts. I don't know. For me, I feel you may have to start it, collecting it, to get where you want to get. But at some point, you have to stop. At some point, you have to stop. You have to develop yourself. So for me, I would say it's personal development because you really need to look at things from different angles. Okay, this person is doing this. What can I do to make it different? Okay, we're 100 people in this field. What can I do to make it to stand out? I feel it's the same thing with our musicians. Each one of them have their unique selling points. That's the meal. Each one has their unique selling point, and they know how to attract it to their fans, and that's what makes them like boom. So for me, I believe it's self personal development and knowing how to go about it, how to cut out, how to bring out the outcome will be very appealing and be attractive that there's this willingness to grab your value at any price. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. I love the way you said, people must learn how to ask deep-seated questions, especially on the value that they're planning to give
Yeah.
out. That's important because a lot of people, but then when people begin to ask themselves that question, and there's a tendency of, are you not being greedy? Are you not trying to get yourself out of the game or equation? When those fears arise, what should they do?
Okay. Those fears are bound to arise. They are bound to arise. It's normal. It's there. In fact, it will be thrown at you, whether you like it or not. But this is where I say faith comes in, self belief comes in, self esteem comes in. you're definitely going to hear, you're overdoing it. Don't you think you're dragging it too much? But you know what you're giving out. You know what you know what you place, the amount of time, the amount of brain work, the amount of energy. You know what. So I believe at times we sabotage ourselves. We ourselves sabotage ourselves because we don't want to look like this. We're afraid to look like this. We're afraid, oh, if I bring it out, won't this be said? So a lot of times it's self-sabotaging, sabotaging. That's to me. You just have to believe in yourself and have faith. As I keep saying, faith has a way of working, especially when you believe in yourself. Because I've actually seen people's products are not so great, but the way they presented themselves, the way they've even created that value, people rush that. They give very, very premium prices. So I would say you just have to believe in yourself. You at the end of the day, it's going to be self-sabotaging, but you have to believe in yourself and think it through.
Thank you very much. Let me ask Olusola Lumide. So now we're hearing that there's a path that must be explored, and that part is believing in yourself. Can this suffice? Is there more to that? Please enlighten us, Olusola.
Yes, thank you very much. Is why it is good to believe in ourselves. That should be predicated on our proficiency, or else the person will be like an empty barrel making the loudest noise, and that will lead to eventual shame. But it's not just enough to hype yourself. Yes, that's why some people will tell you it's not all the story you write on your CV. You come, let's interview you one-on-one and know what you can deliver. Yes, you could have copied anything from anywhere, but when you are called upon, can you deliver? For me, our expertise and proficiency stands as our bargaining power. And that is why it happens in every industry, whether in the entertainment, in the education, even in sports. Are you surprised? Ronaldo is a striker, Messi is a striker, and somebody said he'll be paid £1 million every week. Meanwhile, some people are begging that if you can pay me that £1 million for my lifetime, I'm okay. It's a matter of proficiency and the value you give. And one thing educator needs to know, when you show up your expertise, you are setting up yourself for greatness and for liberation. People think personal development, you are trying to help somebody. You are not helping anybody, you are helping yourself. There are places you go. Of course, you are a trainer and are aware. It has happened to me. There are places I go. They invite me and they just give me whatever they want and I'll collect it and go. I think I am building my profile. I am adding value to value. I want to showcase all I can give. Now, in the process of delivering that service, one or two people may be there who say, where did you see this guy? I think I want this guy to come around though. Because they have a positive perception about me. And I did not tell them that the last people I make this thing for is they gave me 1,000 naira. Now you want me, because for me as a person, as a behaviorist, and I can, understand the mind or understand the perception and whatever the person is trying to say. Once I did that, you are calling me from the place of value. As much as I don't want to exploit you, my strength will be higher. At that point, I'm not at the mercy of my employer. I am not at the mercy of the person that wants to engage me, because that person has a perception about me that I can get the job done. I can tell you, okay, can you give me 100,000? It's okay, sir. Don't worry, let's just make it 70,000. Of course, in my mind, I will be dancing, because the last assignment where I was discovered, I was only paid 1,000 naira. But because I've been able to showcase my skill and what I can offer, and like I've always said, consumption is a function of perception. That's why a lot of organizations do a lot of advert. They want to ingrain it in our mind that their product is the best. And you also enjoy the power of referral. I will tell educators out there, you may not start looking for money. Keep adding value, keep developing yourself, and keep showcasing what you can offer. I tell you, somebody somewhere will see you and say, I listened to a guy. I give you a very funny scenario. This time last week, there is this job initiative by Lagos. They partnered with our school to come and train our students on career development. I was only to be given 10 minutes to talk. The guy, the colleague who insisted I must be on that train, had me talk in a function just for 10 minutes also. And it was like, so and so, you are like this. I don't know you are this type of a person. He called the secretary to the Center of Career Development and said, you know what? This man called Olumide must be part of. I was just to be given 10 minutes. As God will have it, I received a call on Thursday that the partner coming from outside the institution that needed to talk couldn't make it down. And the secretary asked me, can you hold on to this student for 1 hour? I laughed. I said, if you want me to hold them on for 2 hours, I can. Eventually, I was the main speaker. Meanwhile, the professor, who is the head of that center, I wanted to go and see her before to tell her I can do this, and do this. So I did not go and see her personally again. It was my interview to talk to the student because she was seated there. Another professor was seated there. About 3 doctors were seated there. Rotimi. That too, I told them, talking is my hobby. I can stand here for 5 hours. They thought it was a joke. When I started, in fact, all of them were like, those students, they just came around me like a bee and started collecting my number. Already I gave some of them appointment. Please come and mentor me. Please. Part of the center, automatically they wrote down my name. They were like, you mean you can, even though the one I went to do was free of charge. And because I've been able to step up my game and I deliver properly, it has raised my bargaining power. The next time they are calling me, they will not come to come and do free service for them. Instead of me going to beg them now to look for a space, now they will be the one begging me. They will not do anything in that career center again without calling me. It was the perception they had about me and the opportunity given to me. If they gave me that opportunity and I wasted it because I was ill-prepared, it wouldn't be a problem of witches and wizards. It will be due to my ineptitude, my laziness, and seriousness, inability to add value for myself. If opportunity comes our way, we are meant to be prepared for that opportunity. If we have to stop peanuts, because the day opportunities will come, we will not be told a long time beforehand. And the slide I used, I know they will be wondering, we told you in less than 24 hours. You mean you were able to prepare this slide? I saw one of the professors. She was jotting like a second student. Virtually everything I said, she was copying very fast as if she was going to write the exam after the presentation. It was a breakthrough for me. It was an opportunity to stop the peanut. Because don't forget, I wanted to go and be begging them before that I can help them in that career center. But that opportunity came my way to showcase what I have to offer, and that changed the dynamics and the narrative. Educators out there, money may not come now. Keep developing yourself if the peanut will stop. Give value that cannot be resisted. I tell you, money will be looking for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I love the way you said keep developing yourself. You know, the peanut will stop. You know, it's but a lot of people don't associate. In fact, a lot of people are so fatigued of the word development that they don't associate better outcomes with development, with developing themselves. You know, they just prefer to just desire to become without being involved. And that's why a lot of people still, you know, suffer, you know. And one of the things that I'll keep stressing is the fact that everyone needs to realize peanuts, you know, so how can they pay me peanuts? No. Peanuts is not what you are paid. You know, peanuts is not what you are paid. A real peanut is the outcome of something. There's a result, you know, there's a result of what causes that outcome. You understand? And that's what it is. Let's welcome Ifyok. Ifyok, good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Education Show.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, tribe members. Good morning, Mr. Rotimi, and good morning to our audience out there.
Good morning,
Why?
our educator from the UAE.
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Lushola. And Pwacham, great to have you here. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Good morning.
She's trying to get the pronunciation of your name very well, so I had to assist her.
She tried. She got to do it. She tried.
Pwacham, thank you.
Yes.
I'm taken
All
aback
right.
by
It takes faith to pronounce her name correctly. You have to have faith in God. You know what I mean? All right. So we're talking we're talking about stop the peanut. And I love the conversation, and I like to just put this in, which actually people might actually need to put into practice in their lives. There's the flow where you need to understand that your mind is very, very, very important as a strong element to how to stop the peanut. You have your mind, you have your might, and those two produce a mine for you, a mine of gold, a mine of greatness, a mine of good. That's like having a gold mine, you know. So this is something that we must understand. Peanuts actually emerge first from the mind. There's a lot of peanut like thinking. There's a lot of peanut like attitude. There's a lot of peanut like speaking, peanut like friendship and friendship association, peanut like direction, peanut like vision boarding. Consumption based behavior is peanuts, no matter how you look at it. And these are things that we need to stop, you know. Um, and I like to bring this question to Pachom, then I'm coming back to Ifyok and Olushola. Um, Sometimes there are some statements you hear people make and you find it difficult to understand if it's true. Sometimes when you hear the word, people find it difficult to think. Thinking seems simple, it seems easy, but sometimes people find it difficult. In fact, some people would rather die than think, would rather suffer than think. Why is this so? Do you believe it? That some people find thinking difficult? And if you do, why is it so? What can be done?
Yeah. Yes. People find it difficult to think. I was it yesterday or the day before yesterday we spoke about critical thinking. Um. Uh. A lot of times, this thing called critical thinking. I think we spoke about this on this show, and many people don't do it. You hear a lot of things like, you can't make it if you know be somebody's son or know be somebody's daughter. This thing doesn't work for me. And you said something, the mind, you have to work on the mind. It's a great asset. And I'll keep saying it till now. The mindset is a great asset, and the mindset can take you far. Like how you use it. Yes, many people don't like to think, and that is part of the personal development. I believe we have to work on ourselves to think. And I keep saying, if you can't think, ask someone who is relevant or who is of higher intelligence, or I don't even know how to put it, or who you respect so much that you know the person's value is worth it. Ask the person to help you think. The person will help you see it through. I don't know, that's for me. Oh, I feel there's always a way to start something. There's always a way to start something to get where you want. So yes, people don't like to think, and that results in peanut thinking, peanut friendship, um, peanut relationships, peanut business training, a lot of things. And as if you said, thinking, people don't like to think. People don't like to sit down and ask themselves, how can I create my own footprint to get it better and move on and make it different or make it successful and push my way? No. Most of the time, people just want to sit down and just collect it big. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Your value has to be totally different. So I would I would actually say yes, people don't think, but we need to learn. I don't even know to call it an art or whether I should call it the art of critical thinking. We need to learn to think. We need to learn to think because it will really boost us on many levels. As you said, the mindset, it's a powerful asset. I'm a strong believer of the mindset. For me, I use myself as an example. I sabotaged myself for a long time because I did not use my mindset. The mind is very powerful, and once you use it positively and you're able to enable, even Mr. Olushola has said it, he's spoken about the mind. So yes, people do not think, but we need to learn to think. And I believe with that, when we learn to know what is critical thinking and use it effectively, it will really change the outcome in many areas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let me come to Ifyok. I'm sure Ifyok has a lot to say also on topics like this. I know that the end of the year comes with a lot of anticipation, anxiety, sometimes mixed with a bit of excitement, and just the promise of a new year. There's some attachment of hope, you know, just the
Okay.
promise of a new year. There's an attachment of hope. So I'd like to ask if you're right, how can or how can educators, especially out there, begin to deconstruct that narrative of peanut like number one friendships and then peanut like number two activity in terms of activation, things that they are doing, you know, or better still, you could change it to be peanut like aspiration. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rotimi. This is a very valid one because it's very important for us to be able to move away from that place of peanut likeness. Let me, if I may put it that way, from that place of um, mediocrity, from that place of insecurity, because these are all elements of the peanut like attitude, if I may say, or peanut like behavior. So moving away from that place of inconsistency, from that place of mediocre, from that place of feeling worthless, from that place of feeling that you don't matter, maybe because of the way the society and the people around you treat you or regard you. It's very important, like Poacham said earlier, we're talking about the mindset. It's very important that you believe in yourself first. Okay, you believe in yourself because the truth of the matter is every other person can give up on you. Every other person around you can think less of you, but they're not right. They're never right until you join them in that line of thought. They're never right until you think less of yourself, until you disregard yourself. But as long as you're keeping your head high and you are doing everything in your power to improve yourself, to be the best at what you do, and that's current that is just the way I approach things as well, and it has helped me move from that place of a peanut mindset. I'm going to tell you something. I went into the university um with the intention of being a teacher, okay, against all odds, against every advice and everything people were telling me at that time as a teenager. However, I did not let that affect me. And I can tell you that there were times when I was faced with that challenge of how am I going to get out of this place? It's, it's not a profession that's lucrative. And of course, it did not align with my dreams of being, a very, someone who achieves much, very rich person and all of that. Then what did I do? It's about the mindset. And I did not even understand the concept of the mindset. It's just like an eagle learning to fly. Okay, so it's one thing to understand, it's one thing to think, and it's another thing to actually understand the nature. Like I was talking about the eagle, it's one thing to be able to fly, or to know that, okay, you're flying, find yourself that you're flying without even understanding the principles of aerodynamics. Or it's like a child learning to walk without even understanding how his or her body functions to walk. But as we evolve and as we grow in our professions, it's important to understand how you will take yourself not just away from that place of thinking, or take yourself to that place of thinking, but how you need to think to improve yourself at where you are now. So number one, I'm just going to say, to work on that mental workspace, to improve your mental space, and make sure you engage it at the same time with decision making. Because even if you're thinking about, the different things you can do to improve yourself, taking to flight, putting it into action is one thing that will propel you to the next level of thinking and improving yourself. And remember, it's about taking yourself out of that peanut space. So when you think about anything and you think about, this is one thing that will make me improve or help me improve, take action, make a decision, and then you move into action. And for me, I feel that this is one thing that keeps propelling me. As long as I'm doing, I'm moving. As long as I'm moving, I'm getting better. So that will also help you as you're doing that. You're not going to run out of steam. But I think I'm going to leave it there, because running out of steam is another aspect that, if you're not constantly thinking, then your batteries, your steam batteries will be depleting. Let me put it that way, Mr. Rotimi. So if you're not constantly thinking, if you're not constantly putting your thought into action, you will run out of steam. And when you eventually run out of steam, you find yourself back in that peanut soil, in that soil that helps that peanut mentality and everything
All right.
to thrive.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And as we bring this to a close, I'm going to ask a strange question. As someone who has coached people, and sometimes when you look back at your results and you look at sometimes the feedback, it's almost as if sometimes we get to realize that most people only trade off and bargain their expectation. So they have expectation of the coach or the coaching experience and intervention, but it's like the coaches themselves or the people don't have expectation. They don't believe the coach has an expectation. And so what only they meet up with is obligation. And when you have obligation from both sides, but expectation from one side, and sometimes you have a sabotage result. And on that note, I'm going to ask this question, and that's what will be your party show. But please, let's try to keep the question, under 30 seconds if possible. So the question is this: what are you going to do in 2022 to make others around you rich? When I say rich, I mean wealthy. I'm going to start with, let me start with Olushola Olumide. I'll go to Twachom, and then I'll end with Ifyo. 30 seconds. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Please carry on. Olushola, we can hear you. The mic is muted, Olushola. Patron, can you carry on and then we'll come back to Olushola?
Okay. I know. What will I do to make people wealthy? I would love to give up my expertise to enable them build on what they already have. Like I don't even know how to explain it because I think I was thinking on it. I believe mine will be to build and to give out my expertise so that you can apply it with what you want to do, especially in my own industry, to help yourself go far and like a blueprint. That's what I would say to give. I've never really done that, but I would really like to do that to teach my expertise to give value so that you'll be able to enable yourself. That's for me.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from Ifyok and then we'll come to Olushola. Ifyok, what are you going to do in 2022 to make others around you rich? Not yourself, others around you.
Okay. Well, I think for me, I would just be out there willing. I will give myself. I will give my knowledge and my expertise. I will give my time to helping develop people around me. And I think that's basically it because one, you can't give what you don't have. So that's it.
Thank you very much. And finally, Olushola Olumide, what will you do?
Thank you very much. Yeah, since the plan is to be out there, help people like Ifyok has said, one thing I will anchor on or hammer on in the new year is accountability. Yes, from what go, I will tell whoever comes my way. It's not going to be a parasitic kind of relationship. So we'll detail out, okay, you want me to mentor you, you want me to do this or do that. Look at this and what you're expected to go through. So if I give you assignment, time bound, you work with it and come back. And of course, one thing I will also do is to model success or excellence. That even somebody doesn't talk to me, he goes, sees the way I do my things, he will know that of a truth. I think this guy is doing something different. That's why he's moving forward. And that aspect of modeling success, excellence, giving my best to do all I need to do so that it can serve as an impetus to those who come my way, those who see me, or those who interact with me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to appreciate you all for joining. Thank you, Olushola Olumide, for joining us today. Thank you, Patron Georgie, for joining. Thank you, Ifyok Ikeagwu. Thank you to the math educator. And of course, thank you to Adebimpe Oluwabukola Agbola. Thank you for joining. And to everyone who will be watching this afterwards, thank you for being a part of the Good Morning Education. Share the videos, share the lessons, tell people about us, and of course, subscribe to our channel, like our pages and handles across all the analysts on the show. And before we end, I'd like you to know that we're coming back tomorrow and we're going to be having an interesting topic, and we're talking about hiring yourself. It's a session you must not miss. And that's our Christmas Eve edition of the show. But until then, be good. Stay great. As we end today, we're going to be having our regular payoff line. Are you ready, guys? We're going to sing.
Yes.
1, 2,
It's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.